Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's edition of the Sunday Wire. I'm Patrick Henningsen, your host. We're streaming out live on X, Rumble, YouTube, also Facebook Live, and we're also on the audio streams, iTunes, and others, Spotify, after the program. As per normal, welcome again to this weekly Omnibus News and Analysis radio and television program. This is episode 573 of the Sunday Wire. We have all kinds of breaking developments. There's a few things that actually just broke in the last 24 hours. We may or may not cover them. So we wanted to focus on some of the main themes. We'll also be joined by our teammates after the break in the Overdrive segment, Hesher, Ruckus, Basil Valentine, hopefully, to comment on a number of things, including two daily shooter events. There's a mass shooting in Australia that's particularly interesting. We also have some video from that alleged antisemitic mass shooting. At least that's how it is being billed in the media right now. And we'll cover that. We'll get our ballistics experts and mass shooter experts on the panel to discuss this and much more. And before we get to our first story, and I mean, if you've seen the leader graphic for this episode, it's right there. Neocon, Pirates of the Caribbean. It's pretty self-explanatory. So the United States is involved in piracy now, just going around stealing, using the military to steal people's resources, to hijack boats and steal their oil. This is what they're doing to Venezuela. Trump doesn't seem to have any problem with it, as we'll show you by his own reaction. But that's what's going on, folks. I mean, it's pretty crazy. This is going to lead to war. In fact, well, we'll cover this. We'll bring you through this story in just a few minutes. But it's definitely a low ebb for the United States. And this president promised so much and has delivered so little. And this is going from bad to worse. What else can we say? We'll show you the details. We'll also bring up some choice coverage as well on this. Now, before we get to that story, I want to bring people's attention to 21st Century Wire, the Sunday screening this week. Again, fine selection by our Global Affairs Department. Britain's Gaza spy flight scandal. There's Prime Minister Keir Starmer. So Britain has enabled the Israelis. I mean, think about how much resources between the U.S. and Israel, how much resources they have. Why would Britain need to be involved in passing aerial intelligence over to the Israelis? Why? They're perfect. The Israelis and the Americans have everything. But Britain just has to be involved, even if it's a genocide. Even if it is a genocide, ethnic cleansing, and slaughtering women and children on a scale never seen before in the modern era, right in front of our eyes. So very much implicated. It's a shocking documentary. This is a great piece of journalistic work by Declassified UK. It's an outlet's just done some incredible reporting, and that's up on the Sunday screening this week. So it's pretty incredible. War crimes are being normalized, and you think just because it's not happening to you, that's not going to be a problem for you? Think again. Think again. This is not going to lead anywhere positive. They've taken the brakes off international law, human rights, and openly multiple countries piling in on an open genocide and ethnic cleansing of a native population right in front of the eyes of the world. They simply don't care what you think. This is a low point for Western civilization. And don't think they can't go any lower, because they absolutely can. So I just want to make that point before we get into the piracy issue. But great film. I mean, it's a stellar documentary. I mean, it's this type of thing the BBC should be commissioning, but of course they can't. They can't. 'Cause it might hurt the feelings of the Israel lobby. So of course the BBC can't touch it. They just institutionally are unable. So that's what's happening there. So let's talk about piracy on the high seas. The pirates of the Caribbean, the Neocon pirates of the Caribbean. There's Donald and his Secretary of War, tattoos and all, Pete Hegseth. He's looking quite fetching in his little bandana. So tough guys. They love shooting things that don't shoot back. They love bombing things that can't hit back. This is an American problem. America does not like to engage anybody that has the ability to fire back. They also like to pretend to negotiate while preparing sneak attacks. It's another low ebb, thanks to the Trump administration. So doing good, Donald, doing good. What happened to no new wars? Well, that never happened, didn't it, in your first term? And it's not happening now. So let's get into it. This is the main event. Trump's regime change war in Venezuela. So they're basically taking, he's taking the oil. He's taking the oil, all right. So here's some coverage. This is basically what happened. So they first seized an oil tanker and then are slated to seize like a half a dozen more. They claim that they're being sanctioned, therefore the United States can hijack them and steal them and take the oil and divvy up the proceeds amongst his friends. That's exactly what's going on. Exactly that. And the Democrats are so supine and themselves compromised in this Venezuelan story that they have nothing to say about it. There's a few people pushing back. We'll talk about that. Thomas Massie, of course, being one of them. Trump is attacking Thomas Massie, is calling him a traitor and other things like that. I mean, very shameful behavior by this president. I mean, if you want to talk about traitors and treason, I think you should look in the mirror. But there we are. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So let's look at some of the coverage here. We'll bring some clips
Tensions
up
between the U.S. and Venezuela are at near boiling point. U.S. President Trump says they're going to start land strikes against drug.
I mean, look at this. Look at this scene. Look at these likely caricatures. Ted Cruz from Cuba. Howard Lutnick, that to Trump's left, that is the president's handler. That's the bankers, and Israel have assigned Howard Lutnick to be Trump's minder. Trump can't do anything without Howard Lutnick. And there's David Sachs, another one, next to Howard Lutnick. And yeah, this is just quite incredible. There's a few others, some tech bros in there. So the billionaire technocrats, the neocons, the Israel lobby run the Trump administration. They run him. Okay, our president is a puppet. And so it's one bad decision after another that's being made by this government in the U.S. It's a disaster. But you can be sure about one thing. All of these guys are making a lot of money right now. They are fleecing America. They're literally stealing things from other countries. And their goal, it seems, is to accumulate as much capital and control and corporate contracts and everything else while they're still in power. I hate to say it, but it is the worst nightmare come true. Absolutely. This will go down in history as the most corrupt U.S. government ever in the history of the country. If there's a country left to even have a retrospective like that by the time this president and this gang are done. It's pretty incredible. Here, we'll watch the rest of this coverage.
Shipments in Venezuela soon. It follows weeks of increased US naval buildup in the region and strikes on boats it accuses of smuggling drugs.
They treated us badly, and I guess now we're not treating them so good. If you look at the drug traffic by sea is down 92%. And nobody can figure out who the 8% is because
I mean, how could he make such a statement? And you assume that not all the traffic is going to be stopped by U.S. authorities. So what's he talking about? Traffic that's stopped by U.S. authorities is down 90%. How do you get that statistic? He just made it up. Someone probably told him, one of his advisors, oh, Mr. President's down 90%. Certainly that's what he wants to hear, so he's very happy about that. He's surrounded by people that tell him things he wants to hear. It's a very weak and incompetent leader you're looking at here. A real clown. And he is making an absolute disaster of the international system, U.S. reputation, and undermining. Ultimately, this will undermine the U.S. ability to project power and influence, ultimately. But Trump is so short-sighted and shallow that he probably can't even see this. And again, all those people standing behind him are making a ton of money. A ton of money. So here's Trump making other claims about successes when in fact he's engaged in what will ultimately lead to an undeclared illegal war of aggression and more theft. Here he is.
I have no idea. Anybody getting involved in that right now is not doing well. And we'll start that on land too. It's going to be starting on land pretty soon.
Washington accuses Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro of being complicit in the drug trade. Maduro has always denied involvement in criminal activity. Trump's comments come after the US took a swipe at Venezuela's source of income when it seized an oil tanker off Venezuela's coast. The White House says it will take the vessel to an American port and will seize the oil on board as it funds narco-terrorism. In Caracas, the tanker seizure is denounced. So
the U.S. have no evidence at all. So they're saying the accusation is that Maduro's complicit in the drug trade because Trump and the United States have no evidence that he is a narco-terrorist or running drugs trade. They have nothing. Absolutely zero. So then the allegation's been downgraded to, oh, Maduro's complicit in the drug trade. Donald Trump is complicit in drug trafficking. He just pardoned one of the biggest cartel drug traffickers ever sent down in a U.S. federal trial. Donald Trump let him off probably because the cartel told him to let him out, or told Marco Rubio to tell Trump to let the former president of Honduras, who was trafficking 400 tons of cocaine into the United States. Cartel told Rubio. Rubio told Trump, let him out. Juan Hernandez, whatever the hell his name is. I mean, this is just open criminality that you're witnessing right here. And I thought when I saw some of the things of the last 6 months that the Trump administration couldn't go any lower, and they have just exceeded expectations once again. Not just complicit, actively enabling some of the biggest drug traffickers in the Western Hemisphere. And who knows how deep the CIA is caught up in this, because historically the biggest drug traffickers in the Western Hemisphere, along with the major cartels in Colombia, in Peru, Ecuador, Guatemala, biggest drug traffickers are the CIA and the DEA, two U.S. agencies. That's a historical fact, irrefutable. And now Donald Trump is part of that.
Secuestraron a los tripulantes.
They kidnapped the crew.
Se robaron el barco.
They stole the ship.
Y han
They have ushered in a new era, the era of criminal naval piracy in the Caribbean. So Venezuela rejects, in its entirety, this act of criminal piracy against the entire Caribbean.
El Caribe.
In addition to the military action in the area, the US Treasury imposed new sanctions targeting 3 of Maduro's relatives, as well as 6 companies shipping the South American country's oil. In a telephone conversation, Vladimir Putin expressed his solidarity and support for Nicolas Maduro. The UN called for the avoidance of any action that could destabilize Venezuela and the region.
I mean, these people are just unbelievable. So this is going to go from bad to worse. There is no doubt about that. This is a criminal. You're looking at a criminal enterprise right here. Oh, what about the jobs with the Rust Belt? You know, make America great. Got all those working class votes. MAGA. Oh, where are the jobs? No, we're not bringing any manufacturing jobs back. Elon's bringing in robots to replace your jobs. Instead, Trump's running around stealing oil from neighboring countries in our hemisphere. That's make America great. MAGA, get the red hat, do the fist, do your little dance, Donald. It's a complete joke. Look at Ted Cruz. Donald Trump humiliated Ted Cruz. And look at him sucking up to Trump. He's been sucking up to him ever since 2016. It's really pathetic. It's very sad. But that's the level these people are at. It's quite astonishing, actually. But that's what you've got. That's just what you've got, folks. So now Trump was confronted about the oil issue, and I think we have that news clip. He was confronted. What are you going to do with the oil? You've stolen the tanker. So what about the oil? Well, I think we have that. This was his response. Wow. Listen closely. Listen to this guy. Also pay attention to the state of Trump. He's looking very kind of haggard. I mean, he's an old man. He's 80. Not in the best health. And he's just very tired and haggard. And if he's tired and haggard, you have less of a chance of getting an articulate, full-formed thought out of him than you had before, which was already difficult. And the situation has gone from, really bad to critical at this point. Listen to this. Listen to the journalist as well posing the question.
Fortunate what happened. I mean, I know exactly what happened. It kind of started a little bit, but we'll see if we can put it out.
We're interested in the seizure of this tanker. What happens to the oil on this ship?
Well, we keep it, I guess.
Where does it go? What port does it go to?
Well, you have to follow the tanker. You're a good newsman. Just follow the tanker.
Do you know where it's going? Was it going
Follow
to
it.
China?
Get a helicopter and follow the tanker.
Is it true it's going to
But
China?
I assume we're going to keep the oil.
So if other countries went hijacking U.S. tankers and stealing their oil and then gloating about it on television saying, oh, we're just going to keep their oil. Imagine if Russia did that to America or China. U.S. would be declaring war, maybe threatening nuclear Armageddon at that point. How dare they? But it's okay for the U.S. basically destroying the international rule of law. The U.S. and let's be clear, the United States is the only country that destroys international law, but yet they demand everybody else follow it. So this level of hypocrisy, this president is presiding over the complete evisceration of the United States as a former respected world power. That is what Donald Trump has been doing. He's in hyperdrive. It's pretty incredible. So let's look at this regime change war. There's a great piece here. It's Freddie Ponton, 21st Century Wire. Gunboat diplomacy reloaded. How the U.S. stormed the skipper and stole Venezuela's oil. This is just the first first one. He's Trump's promised to hijack and steal the oil of 6 other tankers. So this is part of the maximum pressure campaign to force the Venezuelan president to resign. Maduro was elected, but the U.S. don't recognize the result of the election because it's not the one they wanted. It's not the puppet the U.S. wants. Anyway, this is a great article, 21st Century Wire. Check it out. Share the link in the chat as well, please, everybody, and on social media, as well as share the stream for this program. We really appreciate it. So the bottom line is this, folks. This is a good op-ed here by Belen Fernandez in Al Jazeera. The United States is already at war with Venezuela. They've had this country under sanctions for the last 20 years, more or less. They've destroyed their economy. They have waged war on their currency. And people say, oh, but the Maduro can't manage the economy. It's because they've been under embargo. They did the same thing to Syria. They're doing the same to Iran. They're trying to do it to Russia. It's the same thing. North Korea, same thing. So anybody who's not playing ball or allowing U.S. corporations in to steal what they want is determined to be the axis of evil by the United States. So the U.S. is already at war with Venezuela. Already. The only question is how much escalation is there going to be? U.S. military assets parked within striking distance of Venezuela. Has Venezuela done anything to the United States? No. Trump's just made up a lie, and his ne'er-do-well advisors, lunatics, extremists, and total whack jobs like Sebastian Gorka and others of that ilk, getting fed fake intelligence from Israel. It's just, I mean, there has to be somebody at the CIA with like half a brain that might be like brave enough to send something up the chain saying, actually, no, Venezuela is not a narco-trafficking state. I mean, just go to the DEA's own website, Donald. Venezuela is not in the Premier League in the Western Hemisphere. They're second division at best, third division at best, in terms of drug trafficking. Why don't you drag the CIA in front of a congressional hearing? Let's talk about drug trafficking. That would be good. That'd be a good start, Donald, if you're really concerned about it. So here's the puppet that the U.S. want to place in power. Maria Corina Machado. I mean, look at this one. This is quite the ghoul that they have produced here. So that she has been a USAID-funded CIA asset now for a very long time. She was sort of, behind Juan Guaido, and now Guaido's gone because that was just a clown show. Nobody bought it. They got rid of him. He's been paid off. That was a U.S.-appointed president of Venezuela. I mean, you can't make this up. Now you got this gal. The CIA managed to, and Israel probably, I mean, there's a hell of a control over the Nobel Peace Prize in Oslo. I mean, the Nobel Committee should be ashamed of themselves. So she's calling for, U.S. to attack Venezuela, her own country, and they give her the Nobel Peace Prize, calling her a democracy, a hero of democracy or something stupid like that. So U.S. smuggled her out of the country to go to Oslo to give these high-profile interviews with the BBC and everybody else, CNN or whoever, where she collects her Peace Prize. I mean, look at this school. Look at this school. She's had so much plastic surgery done and Botox in the last couple of years. If you look at the pictures of her, the before and after, it's shocking. So, but that's what happens with these sort of people. This is Face the Nation on CBS. Yes, Face the Nation. Face the Nation. What a face. Maria Corina Machado. I mean, an absolute ghoul. An U.S. intelligence asset and a ghoul. a fire-breathing Zionist that was asking for Israel to intervene in Venezuela. And they gave her a peace prize. Where do you start with this? Honestly. We'll get to that mass shooting later, but this is quite a piece here. She's not accepted by the people of Venezuela, but the U.S. will try to install her into power. They're telling the U.S. and the West that she is the heir apparent, the rightful ruler of Venezuela, because Washington says so. So let's look at, so Trump has form in this department. Trump has form in this department. Let's look at his form. Let's go back to 2013 or 2011, somewhere around there. You know, and I suppose we're all guilty of not paying attention. So that when NATO attacked Libya, it helped to trigger the migrant crisis in Europe. Again, NATO attacks Afghanistan, migrant crisis from Central Asia. NATO attacks Syria, proxy war, migrant crisis from Syria into Europe. NATO bombs Libya, migrant crisis from sub-Saharan Africa into Europe. Do you see a pattern, anybody? U.S. attacks Iraq, migrant crisis into Europe. Israel commits genocide against the native Palestinian population. If they get their wish and ethnically cleanse the entire Gaza Strip, there will be a migrant crisis into Europe again, once again. And another migrant crisis from Syria, another wave is expected because of the civil war the United States and Israel have engineered in order to break up Syria. Can you connect the dots? That's interesting. And all these military contractors making money, and the same billionaires that run the Palantirs, the Googles that are running the genocide for Israel, Microsoft, Amazon Web Servers, at the heart of the U.S. NATO military industrial complex, those same billionaires, Musk, Thiel, are funding the anti-immigration political movement in Europe. And the European countries in the UK are saying, you need a digital ID to solve this migrant crisis. You can't make this up. They create the problem, they manage the reaction, and they provide the solution. Devilishly clever, isn't it? And meanwhile, everyone's running around, you know, Elon's backing Tommy Robinson and Israel's backing Tommy Robinson. This is all being stage managed by a billionaire and trillionaire class, by Larry Ellison, Musk, Thiel, and the others. And they're going to make more money than you can possibly imagine, as if they haven't already. Oh, they want to do more. Here's Trump in 2011.
Ultimately, the people will appreciate it. They're going to end up taking over the country eventually, but the people will appreciate it, and they should pay us back. But we have to go in to save these lives. We should do, on a humanitarian basis, immediately go into Libya, knock this guy out very quickly, very surgically, very effectively, and save the lives. After it's all done, we go to the protesters who end up running the country. They're going to like us a lot better than they will if we don't do it. More importantly, we're going to save lives. And we should then say, by the way, from all of your oil, we want reimbursement.
So, and that was Donald Trump in 2011 saying, bomb Libya, regime change, take out Gaddafi, and the protesters are going to run the country afterwards. No, it turned into a failed state. So I called that. You can watch my news clips from 2011. I was on the right side of history, as were people I consider my colleagues in this independent media. Knew exactly what was going on. We knew it would happen. We opposed it. And U.S., Britain, France, NATO went forward anyway. and Libya became a failed state broken into 3 parts. And the protesters didn't run the country. So Trump back then was clueless. This guy's supposedly a billionaire. So I got it right. I'm not a billionaire, but I got it right. He completely doesn't understand what he's talking about. Got it completely wrong. So we're smarter than this guy. We're smarter than Trump. Trump's clueless. Us talking here, we know exactly how this works. We know what the result will be from said action. We communicate that to our audience. And Google and YouTube censor us for that and have done for over 10 years. So we're getting it right. Trump doesn't have a clue. He never had a clue. He's a complete idiot on matters, serious matters like this. Oh, but he's not done. This was the sequel here in this great montage. Let's listen to the genius, the sage of foreign policy, Donald Trump, back then.
They should have said, we'll help you, but we want 50% of your oil. They would have absolutely said, okay, 100%. In fact, they would have said, how about 75%? So, and isn't it sad? We could have had anything we wanted. We could have had 50% of those oil fields. You know, in the old days, when you had a war, it's to the victor belong the spoil.
I mean, it's incredible what this guy is saying. He's popping off here. So we start the war and then come in to manage the fallout and then steal the oil as payment for a war we started. That's perfectly fine for this guy because he's a criminal. He fancies himself as a gangster, and you can see it's coming right out of his mouth. And you think this is going to end well for America and for the world? This type of attitude? This type of open criminality? Oh, think again. Here he is.
So we could have had something special. When the so-called rebels came to us, we should have said, fellas, we're going to help you. We want 50% of your oil. They would have said, thank you very much. We have a deal. Write it down. Sign it. We have a deal. We would have been a rich nation again. They have tremendous oil reserves in Libya. Instead, we help. We get nothing. We're very, very, very foolishly led.
I mean, talk about foolish. I mean, it's just so stupid what he just said. He said, this is 2011, and he's saying we need to steal the oil of Libya to be a rich nation again. So the current president of the United States, this was before he was president, opining on the Libyan regime change war. I mean, the U.S. have much bigger oil reserves than Libya does. The U.S. economy, compare it to Libya. I mean, what is he talking about? It kind of shows you he doesn't really know anything about anything. He's blagging. He's winging it. He really doesn't know what he's talking about half the time. He just makes things up. No sense of legality, what's right and wrong. It's just whatever I can take. Whatever I can take. Oh, you've got something over there? I'm going to take that. I'm going to take it. You're going to give it to me or I'm going to really punish you. That's what you got here, this guy. Pretty incredible. So when he was campaigning against Biden, he blames everything on Biden, still does. It's like a broken record. It's Biden's war. It's Biden's fault. This would have never have happened. If I was president, whenever it's Biden. So this is him campaigning in 2023. This guy on the campaign trail. This is almost like, is beyond clownish. Listen to this.
Venezuela. How about we're buying oil from Venezuela? When I left, Venezuela was ready to collapse. We would have taken it over. We would have gotten all that oil. It would have been right next door.
He just said it. Oh, he tried to overthrow Maduro twice in his first term and failed. It was an absolute humiliation for the United States. But because the press is so national security oriented, they didn't really take him to task on it. And it was embarrassing for the old school neocons, the Elliot Abrams of the world, the other ones, some of these clowns that he hired, Bolton, Mike Pence, the dumbest vice president in the history of the United States. I mean, this guy made Dan Quayle look like Albert Einstein. Mike Pence. So Mike Pence was assigned to front run the Venezuela regime change, and it was just they completely duffed it up. So here's Trump in his second term after failing before, now trying to basically threaten to destroy Venezuela, shut down and steal all of its money and assets, which he did his first term. He stole their state oil company, liquidated the money and gave it to Juan Guaido and his probably other friends he paid off, maybe the cartels, who knows. And here we are, fast forward to 2025, going into the new year. It's unprecedented corruption in the United States. Again, mark my words, this Trump administration will go down in history as the most corrupt U.S. government in the history of the country. And that's shameful. That is shameful. Should be shameful for every American. I mean, if the Democrats do take the House, there's grounds for impeachment on probably 10 different fronts, legitimate grounds for impeachment. Not like before. It was illegitimate, the whole Russiagate thing. No, now they do. And leave it to the Democrats to not prosecute him on anything of substance and go for something ridiculous, which will probably be water off the back of the big ugly duckling known as Donald J. Trump. Wait till after the midterms. We'll see. That'll probably be how it's going to play out. Not even done with his first year. This guy is a real piece of work. A real piece of work. What more can we say? Look, a couple of other stories we might comment on afterwards. A couple of U.S. soldiers were killed or injured or both in Syria. So in the fight supposedly by ISIS. This is a joke. It's a joke. What? Oh, Trump was like, oh, we need to get out of Syria. I remember that. Remember that? Need to get out of Syria. Remember that? No, Israel wanted us in Syria, and we're staying there because Israel needs us there, period. But you won't get any kind of coherent, intelligent admission like that from these people. It's just, you just won't. You just won't. Instead, you're going to get more BS. Same old story, just packaged for a different regime in Washington. The swamp is alive and well. And Trump has evolved into the ultimate swamp creature, the absolute ultimate. We'll be back in a few minutes. We'll connect our teammates and we'll get into it. I'm Patrick Henningsen. This is the Sunday Wire. Stick with us for Overdrive in just a few minutes. See you shortly.
Lines in the sky, chemical shite, raining down on you and I. Don't you ever wonder why? There's lines in the sky. saw it on the internet, and now it's messing with my mind. Don't you ever wonder why there's lines in the sky? They think we're all zombies, lobotomized sheep, addicted to apathy. I am a Kevin. Chemical shows raining down on you and I. Don't you ever wonder why there's la 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 la. Get up, stand up, wake up, speak up.
For in the final analysis, we all inhabit this small planet, and we are all mortal.
Lately I've been watching the world gone mad. Brothers and sisters full to take a stand, to hate their fellow man and upper man. Divide and conquer is the acronym plan. Distract the people, control the story. Don't believe your lying eyes, you know me. Stay in power, no matter what. Playing with the doomsday clock. Turn a blind eye and gather your trust. Pushing us to turn to good. Corruption and lies. Truth is the crime, will turn to good. Well-designed misery to keep you on edge, make you believe anything anyone says. Keep it left or right, not top to bottom. Accuse the victim, can't you see we got 'em? Stay in power, no matter what. Playing with the doomsday clock. Turn a blind eye and gather your trust. Pushing us to turn to good. We've captured rights. Feudals like time will turn to dust. Industrialized brutality, commercialized cruelty, people as commodity, cheer on war and atrocity, no accountability, perpetual impunity, always have an enemy to hell of all humanity. Stay in power, no matter what. Playing with the doomsday clock. Turn a blind eye and gather your trust. Pushing us to turn to good. Stay in power, cash in the stars.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Sunday Wire. I'm Patrick Henningsen, your host. This is episode 573 of this weekly omnibus news analysis radio and TV program. Thank you guys for joining us on the stream. I see quite a few comments have already come through. Almost 1,000. Well, we're getting up towards 1,000 comments already. We haven't even started reviewing them. We will do in the overdrive segment as we normally do. And looking forward to that. And there's a few other breaking stories. As I said, the Syria thing is quite extraordinary. And it just kind of shows you what a fraud the entire war on ISIS is. And the fact that ISIS is being constantly directed and protected by Israel. Israeli intelligence, U.S. intelligence, the West have been arming them in order to destabilize the Assad government, also to destabilize Iraq, and to provide some kind of a pretext or a reason for the U.S. to be there, basically, because Israel demanded it. So that's it. So, look, also at the end of the program, we'll be talking about reading out some of the this week's donations from some of our members and donors as well, recognizing some of those people. Just giving them a shout out on a first name basis only, of course, but winter fundraising drive, folks. It's happening. We need your support at 21stcenturywire.com. We need your help. That's what we'll need just to get going this year in 2026. And we hope we can make it happen. I think we will. I know it's a tough economy for everybody, but I'll tell you, whatever we can get, we will make it work to the maximum. We've done very well so far with relatively very little. We've been very effective, and we want to expand and do more. If you like what we're doing, if you like this type of programming, the Sunday Wire, the Midweek Wire, our daily reports at 21st Century Wire, the podcast that we're doing as well as a lot of the content we've been putting out for years and following up on some of the biggest stories in the world. If you like that and you want to see more of it, please think about supporting us for this winter fundraising drive at 21st Century Wire. Now, without further ado, let me welcome onto the stage our teammates from Alternate Current Radio, host of the Boiler Room, Hesher, also known by some as Bryan McClain, is joining us on the live stream right now. Hesher, great to have you with us. Quite an outrageous week right before Christmas.
Yeah, it was. We weren't able to do Boiler Room on Friday night like we normally do, so we did it last night. And Ruckus very kindly put together the show notes for me. Thank goodness, because I was just bookmarking everything throughout the week, and it was just this awful pile of links to do with geopolitics, national events, tech bro news, even like some weird pandemic industrial complex news. It is just complete madness right now, and we spent a significant amount of time discussing the MAGA infighting, the fracturization of the large mass of people that voted for Trump on second time here, and man, it was crazy. It was like a 4-hour thing, and there's just so much going on this week. So we even carved off all the geopolitical stuff out of that show, and it was still 4 hours long, but we did that because we knew we'd get to talk to you about this stuff today. So thanks for having us.
Yeah, I like your background there. I see you've gone with the theme there. I mean, a little more glamorous than on Trump's anyway, a little more glamorous than what I've done. But Hegseth looks like some sort of a German S&M club or something like that, in underground club in Berlin or something. A little bit quite appropriate for him. I see you rocking the tattoos. That was my interpretation of this. So it's a little bit. You see the cross of Jerusalem there. We've managed to get Hegseth's tattoos in there as well. Let me bring Ruckus on here. I mean, it's just a clown show, folks. It's the clown world has just gone from bad to worse, and it's kind of like getting dangerous as well. Piracy is now sort of like openly being done and touted by the U.S. I'm not very comfortable with that. No more comfortable than bombing Iraq and everything else. I mean, Trump's just descended into kind of a nightmare, actually. But they're festooning around and really proud of what they're doing, which is the thing that is quite incredible. Ruckus, how you doing?
Very well. I'm glad you appreciate the graphics. They're getting harder and harder to do, believe it or not. As the technology increases and you're able to do cool stuff, they're starting to limit who you can do the cool stuff with. Now, every single AI that I use, I can't make Donald Trump into a pirate. I can still make Donald Trump into a lot of other things, but it's getting smart, and it knows the zeitgeist. It knows that there's probably hundreds of thousands of users asking right now to make Donald Trump into a pirate, and the AI won't do it. Not even Grok. Grok won't even make Donald Trump into a pirate. So
no,
I
it's true. It's true.
One.
Basically, if I showed you the base image, I tried to see what Grok would do, but it was like ridiculous. Made him look like some kind of a supermodel, Johnny Depp version, whatever. And I'm like, no. And so I just take it into Photoshop and do my magic. So
yeah,
you know,
very nicely done. You can hardly tell, Patrick. I had no idea that was photoshopped. I thought that was real. Good job.
I inserted the tattoo. That's not Pete Hegseth's chest.
Now, interestingly enough, the Pete Hegseth, the Pirate Pete that I made for Hesher's image there, was made using AI. It did allow me to take Pete Hegseth's actual image and dress him up like a pirate. I even got to choose the costume for him. So I'm glad you like that one.
Yeah, he does. He looks like sort of
that one. So the secret sauce on that, for anyone who wants to mess with this, that one's through a Google program called Whisk, which is running another program behind it called Nano Banana. I hope you can keep track with all that stuff. But yeah, Nano Banana is the AI model that allows you to take actual photographs of real people, places, and then make subtle differences without changing anything else. And the name of the model is called Nano Banana. But me and Hesher were just on an off-air call with one of our tech-savvy friends who was discussing these tech people were talking about something called Banana Grande. So the people behind the scenes have access to something far more powerful than what is already blowing people's minds. Just this little tiny nano banana. They've got the whole banana, Patrick. So
they may do,
what does
but
that mean?
they may do, but I still think I can produce better, more ironic and wrong, completely wrong and politically incorrect images better than AI. I still think I can. It's meant to look wonky, because that's part of the charm of it. But you see how subtle blending of Trump's hair with the orange dreadlocks, you see. There's a sort of touches you can't do with AI.
Yeah, my favorite is his neck. I really like Trump's neck on that one.
He's got a real turkey gobbler, and those are the sort of like the goatee Johnny Depp things hanging down there, you know, Jack Sparrow sort of thing. I didn't do the eyeliner. I didn't have time to do the eyeliner, but that would sort of be a bit more runway on that. Could do the eyeliner.
You just do JD Vance, and it comes with the eyeliner included.
It's automatically in there. So, look, we got 2 daily shooter events. One in the U.S., one in Australia. The Australia one is mental.
Mental.
But I want to get you guys comment on the piracy. What are your thoughts on this? Your reactions, you guys?
Gunboat Diplomacy Reloaded. It's a great title right there. I mean, what can you say, man? Our country is just, and it's not like this is unprecedented, right? Remember when the whole Russiagate thing started, the country was going around and confiscating billionaire Russian super yachts and stuff like that, right? So, I mean, America has demonstrated over the last few years that, you know, we're just gonna do whatever we want, I guess. And if there is a geopolitical propaganda campaign or some war profiteering that is, you know, contingent on a propaganda narrative, that's fine. You know, they'll just use that narrative, prop it up, and then go take whatever they want, blow up whoever they want. I mean, some might think, oh, we've escalated, and yeah, I guess we kind of have, but I mean, it's really kind of the same program, just at a high escalation in my estimation. I mean, you talked about Libya, Syria, all these other places, and I think those places are kind of like, for many Americans and Westerners, it's like, well, that's just sort of this place that, I don't really understand, and I don't think it affects me, but I hope that governments and militaries are doing the right thing there. Like, I think that's the attitude of a lot of people. Of course, you've got the people that want to see it turn to glass, and but that's a pretty small number probably compared to most that are just kind of like, I don't really get it. And I don't blame them for not getting it, because what we get from the mass media cartel is basically just gnarly propaganda for years and years and years about the Middle East, the whole thing. So, at this point, it's just like, nothing has changed except everything has changed. Nothing except the methods and the rate at which, these things are happening are just becoming more and more transparent. Like you were saying last week, at least they used to, give us cool stories, cool story, bro, to go with their invasions and transgressions. But now it's just like, oh, you got to trust us. Something bad was going to happen. Something bad is happening. And then we've done something, extreme.
Yeah, I know. Ruckus, your thoughts?
I slightly disagree in a way. I'm actually very shocked by this maneuvering. This is seriously unprecedented. There's been a lot of things that have been happening that are like, yeah, it's hard to explain, or you got to really shake somebody up and explain history to them. But this is so beyond in your face. What the F are we doing? What does this have to do with anything? They never even said, oh, we did this because it was carrying drugs. They just literally we're making jokes about them acting like pirates, but that's literally what the United States of America just did. We're not at war with this country. And even if we were, these are not the types of things that we do during war. We don't go capture their oil tankers. We go fight their soldiers, and their soldiers fight us, right? Isn't that what war is? Or am I confused here? I thought maybe I didn't get the memo. It's shocking that they did it. It's also even more disturbing, the response, because you get couched within the Trump personality. Did you see him talking about it? He was so nonchalant. He's like, so we just seized the largest tanker ever seized. They're proud that they just seized. This is the largest tanker that's ever been illegally stolen from another country. And we're proud of that because we're a bunch of illegal criminals. Go America. I'm just shocked. And nobody else is like saying or doing hardly a damn thing about it. You know what I mean? Not even the press. I don't even see the press pushing back against this. This is so bizarre.
Yeah, there's a few Republicans that have woken up, a couple of Democrats, but Democrats are completely in favor, most of them, of this, because they're just neoliberals, and they somehow, I don't know, they're dialed into the profit. But here's the clip again. I showed it in the first segment. It's worth looking again. And just, if you guys pay attention to how tired and haggard Trump looks and sounds.
Fortunate what happened. I mean, I know exactly what happened.
Hold on for a moment.
Got it started a little bit, but we'll see if we can put it out.
We're interested in the seizure of this tanker. What happens to the oil on that ship?
Well, we keep it, I guess.
Where does it go? What port does it go to?
Well, you have to follow the tanker. You're a good newsman. Just follow the tanker.
Do you know where
follow,
it was going?
follow it. Get a helicopter and follow the tanker.
Is it true he's going to?
But I assume we're gonna keep the oil.
Who's going to get the oil? Don Jr., Howard Lutnick, Jared, Steve. Who's going to get the oil? Who's going to take it? Just take it. Yeah, just take it. But who gets it? The tanker. That's a couple million in cash. Whoever gets to offload that, off the books, by the way, off the books.
And he acts like he hadn't thought about it before, or his advisors hadn't mentioned it. Like, I assume we keep it. It's what? Like, could you imagine like doing something like this? Like, say you're the Department of War guy or whatever, and you're set this up. Okay, we're gonna send special ops in there. We're gonna send these guys in there. We're gonna helicopter land on it. It's gonna look like something out of a movie. And we're gonna get it, okay? And then what? Like the Americans are like, well, what do we do once we get it? no one asked that question, or no one brought it up to the president. Like there's no plan for it. We're just vaporizing boats and taking boats, and I mean,
on what basis he said, oh, because they're sanctioned. Well, if you're sanctioned, it means you can still like trade and sell your products. You just can't do it with countries that have accepted to be on board with the U.S. sanctions their allies, the program. So that Venezuela is within their right to sell it to whoever they want, and all the U.S. can do legally is, sanction the country that's accepting Venezuelan oil. Well, Cuba's already under sanctions, so they're trying to strangle Cuba. So this is Rubio and the cartels, basically. They want to turn Cuba into a drug haven and a whorehouse, because that's what it was before Castro basically did the revolution. It was the mafia, the U.S. mafia, the Italian mafia, the Jewish mafia, the Bugsy Siegels of the world, all the big mobsters. Cuba was their offshore base of operations, basically. That's what they would go to meet U.S. politicians and have real conversations about how to make things that are illegal legal. That's Havana. That's what it was. And it all came to a screeching halt in 1953. And oh no, they've been under sanctions for like almost 80 years or 75 years, Cuba. And how's that going? Has that been effective in like regime change in Cuba? 75 years, guys. Maybe you should try another tact. Oh no, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. I promised my great grandparents we're gonna do it. So, anyway, this one is a beauty. This one is an absolute beauty. Yeah. 3 Americans killed in ISIS attack in Syria. ISIS is back. I thought they were gone. Remember when Trump said he defeated ISIS in his first term? Remember that? And Trump's vowing to retaliate. So they've reactivated ISIS. The U.S. and Israel have rebooted ISIS. And now they're sort of going deep on this. Managed to kill a couple of U.S. soldiers. Oh, the outrage. Oh, we have to occupy Syria now. You see how this works, guys?
There's a lone ISIS attacker, I believe, too. They did the lone gunman thing.
I know. It was in Palmyra. I was there in 2017 after the Russians kicked ISIS's ass and the Syrian army kicked their ass and they were gone. Sent them running over the hills. But somehow they're back. Isn't that amazing? The U.S. just didn't manage to sound out. How unfortunate. So Israel's occupying southern Syria and ISIS suddenly appears on the scene in Syria. I mean, honestly, it's a joke. People are just stupid. I mean,
Patrick, did I hear something about Russian military moving back into Syria or going back into the region also?
They never left. They have 2 bases in a naval base in Tartus, and then they have the air base, the Al-Hamini air base, which they had while Assad was there. They still hold it, even with the Al-Qaeda government. They still hold it, and so Russia's not interested in giving up their port, in the Med, and they have a type of implicit agreement with the regime in Damascus that open relations, and they'll keep communications open. But I think, Damascus doesn't want to feel the wrath of the Russians. If they decide to try to attack those Russian bases, there will be retaliation. And nobody in the international community is going to care if Russia, flattens a couple of columns of HTS terrorist soldiers. So it's a standoff, but U.S. want them out. Israel probably wants Russia out. And Russia doesn't want to leave. So they're going to do whatever's in their interest, which is what great powers do. And they just adapt. Russia's very adaptable. Very adaptable. So, guys, let's get to this, the Daily Shooter aspect of this. This is quite incredible, this story. as they go. Let's get into that. Okay, so there's one in America, which was Brown University. You guys probably saw this. I don't know if you have any. We'll start with the American one. This is Providence, Rhode Island. I think this might have been an actual shooting, but I don't know if you guys had time to look at this one or not. Hesher.
Yeah, I looked at it like right after it happened last night, or last evening, and I didn't really feel like I had enough information. I did notice a couple of like places where it looked like crucial information was being held back, and I don't know. There was a Sun Chronicle reporter that was the first to report that SWAT police were hunting a suspect, and last I heard, they hadn't even gotten the suspect. So I don't know if there's updates on that one or not. I found that one to be lacking enough information at the point when I saw it. I think because it was still kind of breaking. They still had people in lockdown. They still had people in what's their new slogan they give the kids these days? Run, hide, fight. I think they had that kind of thing going on. And there was conflicting reports about the shooter, and if was it one, was it two? So it was kind of in that place where I just looked at it and said, okay, here's a big event, and looks like we're gonna need to look at it. So I don't have a whole lot to say on the Brown one, other than I found the initial reporting to be just beg a lot more questions.
Yeah, it could be a daily shooter, but there's a few things missing that makes me think maybe it might not be. There wasn't sort of a caricature produced, a lone gunman and a manifesto. Like, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And so it's like, went into, who knows what it was, shooting in a classroom, shooter flees, dressed in all black. Could be a legitimate nutcase, an actual shooter. Because the story... Yeah, go ahead, Ruckus.
I was going to say, I did catch wind of only one piece of information has come out of this that raised an eyebrow. And I don't know, is this conspiracy candy for the conspiracy theorists? But it would appear that two, not just one, but two of the victims of this most recent shooting at Brown University have also survived two other school shootings. Which is very interesting. And it gets even more interesting as you read through it. But we have one Mia Tretta, who was shot in the abdomen in 2019 at a school near Los Angeles, and Zoe Weissman, who witnessed a Florida shooting in 2018. And they quoted one of these people, Weissman, who says something about, what was the line? They said, the one thing that gives me, they were angry that this has to happen to somebody like me twice. And it was the Weissman character. I don't have the line in front of me. But yeah, I find that very, very coincidental. I mean, we've been tracking the daily shooters for a while, Hesher. If you break down the mathematical odds here, what are the odds that multiple survivors from multiple shootings are in the same place, yet again surviving yet another shooting? Is it just happening that frequently, or is this a red flag? Is this fake? What is this? What do you guys think?
Well, I couldn't tell you, but if you say Florida in 2018, that means Parkland, and Parkland is super sus. So if we have that, and that's it does appear to be pretty real of a report, then I gotta crumple this one up and throw it in the waste bin, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, you just blown away my skepticism that this wasn't a daily shooter, Ruckus. You've just basically brought me back into drag me into that rabbit
Guardian
hole
on this one. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I just thought I'd bring that to your attention because I knew you'd find it interesting.
I mean, put that. So she Parkland.
Oh, I dropped you the link too.
Yeah, put that up on screen. That Guardian article. Let me take a
middle for you. There you go.
I mean, look at her. She's kind of a bit of a ghoulish character there. Survivor of the 2019 Saugus High School shooting in Santa Clara, California. Saugus High School. I've never heard of Saugus High School.
I don't remember that one.
I've never heard of such a. Oh, Santa Clarita. Okay, not Santa Clara.
Oh, okay.
I've never heard of that high school in the Bay Area, but Santa Clarita. Wow, as luck would have it, I mean, what are the odds of lightning striking twice, guys? Can we get an insurance actuary on the program? Zoe
Seriously.
Weissman witnessed so it's 2018. So, okay, we're talking about two. That's Mia Tretta. Zoe Weissman was. So if you Google Zoe Weissman and Parkland and see if anything comes up, do they say what the shooting is?
There it is.
Oh my God, it's Parkland. Oh my gosh.
She was 12 years old when she witnessed a shooting at the high school adjacent to her middle school in Parkland, Florida.
So she wasn't in high school. So she wasn't in David Hogg's year. Okay. But
so it's like they injected her and that narrative into this story because she wasn't shot. She didn't survive, air quotes here, the way the other person was shot. Mia Tretta was shot in a previous shooting.
7 years ago. So that means she would be 19 years old now at Brown. So, okay.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, that is, wow. Bad luck. It's just bad luck. It's just bad luck, guys. It's like who is that one woman who's at all the mass shooting and bombing events, that Boston bombing, and she just pops up there to give a piece to camera. I forgot her name.
Sometimes she wears glasses. Sometimes she's got salt and pepper hair. Sometimes she's got black hair. But she's at like 6 or 7 or a dozen of these things.
She has an IMDb page or something, right? No,
I think she did have an IMDb page when we really dug in.
Yeah. But that's just, don't even entertain the fact that any of that means anything. That would make you a tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theorist.
Right. Well, here's a quick update on at least what they're telling us the narrative is. 2 people were killed and 9 injured in an attack that forced students into an all-night lockdown. So the poor people that went to that school stuck all night in lockdown factor. The suspect was taken into custody at a hotel about 20 miles from the campus. Federal agents detained a suspect in connection with the deadly shooting at Brown University after officers tracked him to a hotel 20 miles from the campus. FBI director said in a social media post on Sunday, local officials at a news conference declined to provide much information about the investigation, including details about the person in custody. So basically, I was kind of right there. It's like, we don't know much yet. We don't know a whole lot, but
was he dancing? Was he dancing when they apprehended him?
Maybe they realized that we've got fatigue for this like Lee Harvey Oswald style lone wolf character. Like we've seen so many of these guys. We were looking at Thomas Crooks last night, or Tyler Robinson. See, I can't even keep them straight. We were looking at Tyler Robinson last night, and it's just like, it's almost a cutout or a repeatable character. Just this sort of, early 20s, mid 20s, like sort of gaunt looking, like not very threatening or imposing, but sure looks like that quiet guy next door that might have done something weird,
He kind of kept himself to himself.
Yeah.
What was he like? Well, he kind of kept himself to himself. He was a loner, and he seemed like a nice guy. He's like,
maybe they realized they were going to roll out another one of those, and people have so much fatigue on this. They're like, we shouldn't let Kash Patel come up here and talk about Valhalla and his FBI jacket this time. We'll just keep it a little quieter.
Operation Valhalla. I mean, the Butler, Pennsylvania shooter. I mean, that's just ridiculous. That guy. I can't even see that guy handling a firearm.
No, the DC pipe bomber suspect they're giving us right now too. Same thing.
Have they produced one?
Yeah.
They celebrating is a big win for the FBI.
Oh, he's an autistic brony.
Literally an autistic brony.
That's a male adult, an adult who's into My Little Pony.
Yeah, and obviously they make the best bomb manufacturers. Of course. Autistic, mentally impaired individuals. Yeah, absolutely. I can totally. It's completely believable. Now, this one, guys, this is a classic right here. This is a classic. This is Bondi Beach, high profile. Australia does daily shooters as good as anybody. They're pioneers. The Tasmania shooter is legendary. That rolled out full gun ban across the country afterwards. I mean, that was just a beautiful daily shooter theatrical performance there. Now, this one At least 11 people killed in terror attack at Jewish event. So a Hanukkah beach event. Obviously, it's summertime in Australia, so the Christmas is sunny and hot, unlike ours. So I know that might sound weird, Hanukkah event on the beach, but it is Australia. And so three shooters, 29 people hospitalized, including 2 police officers, 11 dead, we're told. Okay. Have you guys had time to look at this yet? I mean, let's look at the footage. The footage is, okay, what we have here, and I'm going to use the Jewish Jerusalem Post just so everybody is clear. We have a Muslim man tackling one of the gunmen and disarming him while getting shot twice. Okay. And a mass shooter, 3 shooters hitting a Jewish event. I think it's 3 shooters. And one of them was disarmed by a Muslim bystander. His name was Ahmed Al-Ahmad. And we'll look at the Jerusalem Post's coverage on this. Let me switch over to the video mode on the sharing here. But this is some footage here, guys. I mean, this is like, for mass shooting, this is like greatest hits.
This is crazy footage. And before we watch it, I just want to point out, when I watched it the first time, it took me, I had to scroll it back to realize that there were at least 2 people that were the original aggressors, because the camera kind of pulls back for a minute while one of them retreats, and then it moves to the bridge. And I was wondering, is that the same person? Did he sprint to the bridge? But it wasn't. There's actually 2. And if you read the articles, potentially a 3rd person in these black T-shirts with the long rifles.
Yeah, and they were taking cover, firing. I mean, this is serious. So let me see if we've got this in frame. Okay, Jerusalem Post, right? Watch. Australian Muslim bystander disarms, tackles Bondi Beach shooter. And so this is pretty, I mean, it's kind of a war zone type thing going on here. I mean, this is beyond chaotic and hectic. Let's see if we can get the stream going on this. But it's go for about a minute and a bit, and just watch it. So you'll see the disarming first, and then you have these other guys firing. And I think this is when the bystander, Ahmed Al-Ahmed, was hit twice from one of the other shooters. It looked like it was a clean disarm. I don't know, he might have got shot while tackling this guy, but you guys can sort of do the analysis on this. Let's watch, see if we can watch this.
Oh! Oh non, gros! Oh! Mais il va se faire tirer dessus. Il est trop con, le mec qui a l'arme. Le mec est hyper courageux. Oh.
So that is that on the bridge there, Hesher. That's another gunman, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He's the second one we saw.
I mean, look at that. They're taking cover and then return. You know.
Yeah, this
firing.
guy's been in gunfights before.
Yeah. So I think he was hit there under the tree. He's been hit twice. One in the arm.
Where
and
he backs off right here.
Yeah. The guy, but wasn't the guy who disarmed him? There's another guy with him.
Yeah.
Now look behind. Look behind. Is that somebody coming to?
That's got to be a 3rd participant, or the guy that backed off from the original rifle disarming.
Yeah, because the guy in the bridge shooting at the guy behind the tree there. You
Yeah,
see?
but nobody that's not involved is going to just walk up next to that guy.
Yeah, so he
It's a
came up from.
BBC photographer. No,
He looked like he had a handgun. He looked like he had a handgun. The guy hiding behind the tree. So the third gunman's taking shots at him. I mean, these guys are not messing around. They're ready. They're throwing down. They're ready for full on taking on whoever.
Yeah,
this is insane. I mean, this is. I've never seen anything like this for like a mass shooting captured like that.
No, this is sort of a novel occurrence right here where we get to see this much of what's gone on. You know, and Ahmed, he did a great job disarming that guy, but he, you know, if you're in that situation like he is, you find yourself in a very compromising position because there's a mass shooting going on. There are unknown amounts of men with guns heading that direction. You can hear the sirens all coming in, and you've just taken the firearm from a mass shooter and are now holding it. And there's chaos, and nobody really knows who's who. And you know, he then look, you see right here, he tries to hold the guy at gunpoint. He thinks, I got this, you know, okay, I did it. I just got to hold this guy at gunpoint. But look at him. Look at him, and notice he's got a bum bag or some kind of gear bag hanging off his waist there. There could be a pistol in there. There could be a grenade in there. You have no idea. And this guy, he's not a murderer. This Ahmed guy, he's like, I don't want to murder this guy. He's like, I think I stopped the shooting. But then look, he starts backing up, and then the guy on the bridge appears and continues the shooting. So this might be one of those situations where if this is a Gladio style op or something like that, I'm just wargaming here, spitballing, but the other two shooters had to come out and protect the patsy, the guy that was, you know, looking like the only aggressor. Like that could have been an attempt to do like a lone wolf style narrative, but then the lone wolf got his weapon taken away and pointed at him, and the other two, the backup guys, had to come out and, you know, have an actual gunfight. And when that guy, when the first dude is walking away that got disarmed, and Ahmed is holding the rifle on him, you can tell everybody's like, okay, they don't know that there's other shooters there. And then all of a sudden this guy pops up and he starts, you know, doing whack-a-mole pop-ups over by the bridge there. And I think we can't see this part, but I assume that Ahmed, if it was him or the other guy that was with him, picked the rifle up that he had leaned against the tree. He leaned the rifle against the tree because he knew he could get mistaken for the shooter and get shot by the cops. Like he was trying to be smart, I think, and trying to, you know, he's not a murderer. He thought he could hold the guy at gunpoint with his own rifle, but the dude backed up and his team came in to save his ass. And then you hear the shots while the camera's following, you know, the original shooter toward the bridge. I think that's when he started shooting at these guys behind the tree, and then one of them picked that guy's rifle up and started firing back. So, I mean, this is a crazy like gunfight between that these guys were not expecting. You know, these guys were expecting to go there and kill a bunch of people, clearly. For what purpose is another conversation. I think we probably have a good idea about that, but they were not expecting this to happen and to have to get in a serious gunfight with somebody.
Yeah, so that guy, you know, the guy he disarmed, look at him, he's just kind of like casually, he knows he's not in any danger. He knows that guy who disarmed not going to shoot him. But he's just, and the other guy's throwing a rock at him or something.
Yeah.
I love that. It's just like throwing like a brick or a rock or something. I mean, jeez, man, this is just crazy. So this has become like the national emergency. Candles are already out in Australia. You know, it's like, oh my God, it's the Holocaust. So they're really going for it with this, but it didn't go to plan. It was very messy. So I haven't checked to see if they've apprehended all these three gunmen or not. I mean, if they haven't, that thing going as long as it did, if the police weren't able to react in a major sort of public park, whatever, and they haven't like nailed all this down, I would be shocked. And that would be
Bondi Beach. That's like one of the biggest, like most popular beaches in the area, right? I mean,
yeah.
Why would there
in the world?
Why would there not be police on site, like, or at least like we have here, we beach cops and stuff like that?
I don't know. I have to check the updates on this Australian story, guys, and see. But I mean, have they apprehended the suspects yet, or are they still at large? I mean, what is this?
According to the New York Times, as of today at 1:28 Eastern Time, live updates: 11 killed as gunmen target Hanukkah festival in Sydney. Australian officials called the shooting on Bondi Beach a terrorist attack targeting Jewish people. One suspect was killed and another was in custody, investigators said. A bystander disarmed one of the gunmen. So looks like they got one and one is dead. I wonder who shot the dead one. Was it one of these guys behind the tree or was it a cop? Like, it's unclear to me how that
Right.
happened.
And they found IEDs in the car, one of the cars. So I mean, this is a Gladio event, but this had, I think, it had a particular political purpose, and it's worked. They're locking down Australia. It's, you know, all synagogues need to have like full, you know, National Guard protection, or what, who knows how far they're going to take it. But there's just, it's this and others, it just, something about them doesn't really add up, and we've seen this time and time again. So yeah, second gunman in custody. Right. So it'll be interesting to see what's the net result of that. When he's interrogated, who knows? Is he autistic as well? I don't know. These guys look like they could handle, at least the ones on the bridge look like they can handle a firearm.
Yeah, that guy knows how to tie his shoes and put his pants on without a problem.
Yeah, the guy that got disarmed, I'm not sure about the guy that got disarmed.
He might have been patsy material.
Yeah.
The way they label in these events and report on them, like we were just discussing a shooting, and it was a shooting at Brown University, and then you immediately go to this one, it's not a shooting in the headline, it's a terror event.
Yes.
And then hold on a second, we don't even know much about, I mean, how can they determine? That would have to mean, doesn't that mean that it has to be a terrorist group, and that we have to know all of these things in order to label it a terror event, or does it just automatically get that label because of the Jewish thing?
Probably, yeah. If you're attacking Jews, it's automatically a terror event. Yeah, it's just automatic. I mean, check. Let's go on to 4chan. 8chan. There's probably a manifesto waiting for us up there somewhere, planted by you know who. Oh, let's not get into that. Okay.
Let me put something on the screen real quick here, Patrick. I'm gonna just hit that button. Notice this is a map of Bondi Beach, and the red dot is where the gunman came out. Right, that's where the shooting was happening. The white dot is the celebration. I mean, yeah, they're close, but it's a giant park. It's not like the park was closed for everybody that wanted to be there, you know what I'm
yeah, it's public, it's open.
So how can they say that it was like, is there some evidence to back up the fact that this was, an event that was against the Hanukkah celebration, or is this just like a convenient way to say we had a shooting and it must have been that?
Well, yeah, I think that's a good question, Hesher. And I would also ask how many of the victims are actually Jewish and how many were other Australians who were in the park having picnics, because it looks like one of those types of parks by the beach where people have barbecues and picnics and stuff like that. But they made it is all about the Jewish angle. Specifically, this is how it's blown up in the global media and, of course, all across Australia. Anthony Albanese is doing, candlelight vigils today. So yes, never again. Hashtag here we are. Yeah, that's the first question that came to my mind, Hesher, is are they jumping the gun on the narrative here? And but it's something about this just is not right. And Australia is a daily shooter venue country officially. So they're on the daily shooter sort of world tour top venues.
Oh yeah, the gun grabbing ghouls out there, they hold Australia in high regard in this topic because of the Port Arthur massacre, yet another Gladio style event that happened on 1996 that ended Australians' ability to defend themselves with firearms. That pretty much was the end of their ability to carry guns in Australia back there in 96. One event, I mean, think about all the events we've had here, going all the way back to wherever you want to start. And it's like, wow, they did that with one event. They were like, nope, no more guns for you guys.
Right. Let's see what the crowd is saying here. Is Netanyahu making a public announcement saying that he didn't do it? That's the first one it went to. Excellent. Jilla Abram, 8202. Amazing. Thank you very much. Oh, here we go. The Aussie government did a first gun grab after Port Arthur, then violent crime rose 30% after that. Go figure. Well, thank you for that statistic, Gardner Goldsmith.
Yeah.
Well done.
True.
Well done. Oof. Here we go. Yes. Candace Owens said they are planning a false flag. Remember, that will age well. Yep, she did. She did. What did she say it was going to be in Australia? I'm not sure about that. But yep, Mossad has a thing to do. They have many things to do. Are their phones free of silverware and spotless? What does that mean? Can someone translate that? Am I missing something? Is that cryptic?
Maybe autocorrect got in there.
Could be. Yeah.
Silverware.
Their homes free of silverware and spot homes. I think.
Oh, okay. I know what you mean. It's like, you know, when they go into Summit, they do the orgy of evidence thing, and they go into a suspected shooter's home and whatever. One of these recent ones, I believe it was Tyler Robinson or one of the other ones. They go into the house and they do like the show off, and there's nothing normal in there. There's like it looks like a model home, you know, like no one had lived in it. Like you open drawers and they're empty. There's, you know, totally spotless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a property that's just been used for staging, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the. Do you remember the New Orleans terror attack when the Tesla blew up that same weekend?
Mm-hmm.
And they went to that guy's place, and it's just like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. I think that's the one.
This looks like a setup. Yeah. They're setting a narrative. What ends up being the truth doesn't matter. Yep. You sure about that? Good thing Australia has extremely strict gun laws. Keeps everybody safe.
Yeah, how'd that work out for those 11 people that didn't do so well that day?
That's right.
What if all of them had a rifle strapped to their back or a Glock in their pocket? You know, would it have been different? 11 against 3?
Yeah, and again, we're just reading off the comments here. I thought this at World's End. Wait for that gigantic enforced menorah. So yes, Sydney Bridge will be lit up like with candles for Hanukkah. I mean, they'll be counting down. Yeah, you better believe it. This is how it goes. That is the expected reaction, and it usually happens. What don't the oceans curve around? What are we doing flat Earth here? You guys, stop it. Absolutely stop it. Watch them try to frame Ahmed, the hero.
I've had that thought too. That could and still could go badly for him, considering the laws there.
Yes, he was lurking around as a Muslim, a Jewish barbecue, which is, of course, going to be viewed as suspect. Oh, here we go. Here we go. They get the ethno-nationalists weighing in here. Massive multicultural park. There isn't a more multicultural place on earth. Yeah, you better believe it.
Right? That's why I'm saying, like, you can't just tell everybody that these people did this because of this thing happening there. It's a freaking park. You'll find hacky sack people hanging out there. You'll find skateboard people hanging out there. You'll find, you know, moms and dads and kids hanging out there and people on surfboards. It's not all people celebrating Hanukkah.
Hesher.
Right.
What would Megyn Kelly say? She would say, obviously, the shooters were there because of the Jewish people. Because
of course she
the authorities said so.
She would just read the bullet list that Cash App Patel sent her.
Yeah. Operation Valhalla, page 4. There, it's right there. It says so on the page. Wasn't Charlie Kirk's murder Operation Gladio as well? It was a type of a Gladio event, but I think it was actually that was a very scripted political stunt for many different functions. Charlie Kirk's event fulfilled many different functions. That was, to me, a very significant political event.
It was a turning point of sorts.
Yes, that's right. That's right, Ruckus. irresistible pun intended. It's summer there currently. Yeah, that's right. That's because, oh, yes. Photon, thank you for pointing out it is summer in Australia. This is true. But what you're saying there is also going to create ire with the flat earth crowd. See, I've rattled the cage, guys. Watch the comments flood in. Watch the comments flood in. And are they investigating any involvement of Iran and Hezbollah? LOL. Yep.
Clearly, they are. They will.
Yeah,
the
it'll
one
be
guy on the
interesting.
bridge looked a little bit Hamasish to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's certainly there could have been a Lebanese picnic nearby in the same park. That's possible. What weapons did they have? Look like shotguns and assault rifles. I think it looked like type of one of them AR type model or that type of a semi-automatic. What did you think on the bridge?
Yeah, semi-automatic long rifle. I wasn't able to really get a good enough picture to try to take a guess at it. Like, kind of looked like maybe a FAL size or something like that. Maybe something that's throwing 308 or 7.62 by 39, something like that. I don't think it was an AR-15, but it would certainly look similar at the sort of resolution that we had. But hard to say. And the audio wasn't great either, so it's hard for me to guess. But I'm guessing something like an FAL with 308 in it.
Yep, of course. I heard Maduro was behind it for the suntan oil. Bondi Beach. I reckon it's a good time for a beer. Yep.
Really long tunnels.
Yeah. Harpo terror. Maduro was behind it. Yep. It's the Lebanese community that will cop it. Yep. Narco terror. Okay. Let me see. Here we go. Yep. If there's so you're arguing about gravity. So the flat earthers are just completely beside themselves on this. Okay, guys. Question: what legislation do they want to introduce off the back of this shooting? How about
the question.
Speech control? How about cracking down on anti-Semitic speech on social media? How about that?
Clearly, going to the park is not safe, and you should probably just stay indoors. Yes.
Yeah, they clearly don't need to make any further firearm legislation. So, in my estimation, it would be, like Patrick alluded to, more clamping down on your freedoms, whether they be speech or expression or whatever. And I don't know, maybe they'll take your single shot hunting shotguns away from you next if they have any other agenda items as it goes with firearms. They might, but I think they completed all that back in the 90s. So
is there something they can do to increase the surveillance in the park to make it safer for people? Something like that?
Yes, we need to spend more money on cameras.
Facial recognition cameras.
More surveillance.
Shot spotters.
You guys are way ahead. You get a job in government. You guys are good.
Thank you.
Here's the 100 million shekel question. Did he say Ali Akbar or Allah Akbar? Whichever the case may be. I think Ali Akbar was he ran the stop the steal campaign, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Ali Akbar. It was what was the other name he went by? Ali. Can't remember. Who I'm talking about?
Yeah. No, I totally remember. He
Sammy
was,
Davis Jr.
Yep.
Type dude. Yeah.
Yep.
Hang out with
shady Fed connections, if I recall.
Hanging out with the Proud Boys. I forgot his name. Ali Alexander.
Yeah, Alexander. There you go.
Otherwise known as Ali Akbar. I think you mean Allah Akbar. Turning point, indeed. Okay. Yeah, I think.
And is the question in reference to the guy that disarmed him, or is it in reference to the black shirted shooters? Because you would think they would be the ones that had been scripted to say that if this had gone the way, maybe it had been intended to go and didn't get disrupted.
Yep. And here we go. Cameron says Ahmed guilty by association. So yeah, it's automatically some
That's probably why he put the rifle down. Number one, not a killer, and number two, like I don't want to get shot for holding this thing. I'm going to be the first. Like, Ahmed, come on, dude.
Could have put that down there.
You thought his
What if
work was
Ahmed
done,
is-
and then bullets started raining in, and that was crazy.
Maybe Ahmed is actually a UK citizen. He's just visiting Australia, and he knew, oh crap, somebody's going to catch me on film holding this rifle, and as soon as I get home, I'm going to go to jail. Which is what happened to a UK visitor out here in America who shot a rifle on a private property and posted a picture of it on his social media and got in big hot water over that. So shocking.
Okay, here's a clue. Arson, a human rights lawyer, was at the October 7th event, came to Bondi 2 weeks ago. Source tells the Daily Mail. Oh my gosh. You didn't need to tell us that. Now I'm very suspect about this. Yeah, guns at the beach.
Bondi looks a lot like Bondi. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I can like disassociate the pronunciations there.
Yeah. LOL. Don't shoot. I was holding it for a friend. I know we shouldn't laugh. I mean, but it's just that's just a crazy situation. I mean, yeah.
And why will they not say anything about the suspects? Like, not a thing. Like, we've got a full narrative about it, but not even a name or like a hint at why there were two of them. Clearly there were two of them. They say one's dead and one's captured, and they're still investigating potential for more. So to me, that means, okay, I'm pretty sure I spotted 3 people there, and other people are saying there was 3. So
yeah,
it's just like, we're not going to tell you anything about this event at all other than the video. You get to use your brain to make everything else, fill in the blanks, but we'll give you no information about this person that we captured and the other one that's dead.
Hesher, they're monitoring Polymarket right now to see where to go with this narrative. See?
Great.
Yeah, 24-hour drone surveillance in the park incoming. Yeah, absolutely. We need more drone surveillance to keep everybody safe. Pam Bondi claimed DC attacker screamed Ali Akbar. There we go again. It's a typo. Ali Akbar. DC attacker. What, the pipe bomber?
No, the one that just happened.
The shooting of the National Guard.
Last week's
the National
Daily
Guard.
Shooter.
Yeah, that one. Okay.
They're getting hard to keep up with.
The CIA asset that shot.
Yeah,
okay. Let's remind ourselves who he was. A CIA asset from Afghanistan. Yeah, I mean these mass shooting events are great distractions, of course. The wheels are coming off the Neocon Pirates of the Caribbean project. It's the optics on this. I mean, you guys are in America. I mean, is anybody complaining about this Venezuela thing, or do people not care? There must be some people that are calling it out, right?
Like in our immediate vicinity, like IRL, you mean? I have not seen a whole lot of people that are upset about it.
TV, anything on the media, like. It's like, is there anybody?
No. I mean, I'm having a hard time thinking of like people complaining about this. I mean,
sure, there's a small handful of circle of friends of the show and certain independent media that are doing and saying the right things, people that I admire and respect, such as like Ron Paul is out there, Daniel McAdams. They're all doing and saying the right thing. But I mean, it gets smaller and smaller because a lot of these people that we would expect to be upset about this, like we were just talking about this on Boiler Room, like a Megyn Kelly just a few years ago, or any of these people, pick any of the people who've been bought pod snatched and got the pod version of him, like an RFK Jr. or, hell, even Alex Jones back in the day would be like, what the hell are we doing? But like nothing. Now it's just like, go America. Yes, this is awesome. And oh, by the way, did you see the Epstein photos? Like what? It's just distractions, garbage.
Hijack
the ship. Did you hear what Candace Owens said? Oh my God, Nick Fuentes this, Tucker Carlson that. Oh no. It's ridiculous.
Alex is all guns blazing for regime change in Venezuela here. This is interesting. Oh, they're blaming Iran already, says this Mercantintos or whatever here. They're blaming Iran. Haven't seen any of that, but I wouldn't be surprised. Isn't the Bondi attack punishment for Australia recognizing Palestine? Very, very good observation. This is these types of events often have some political thing attached to them in terms if they are indeed a Gladio event. It's a little bit of a warning, a little bit of punishment. But this is a factoid here. Apparently, one of the shooters served in the IDF Navid Akram. If that's true, this is definitely a Gladio event.
Yeah.
This is run by Israel, this shooting. If that's true. Now, we have to follow that up. But that's to me a dead giveaway. This could be a Daily Shooter staged event gone bad. It's because if that was a legit bystander, that might have messed things up. I mean, that never happens. Does it ever happen at these things? Never. So I think maybe they're getting sloppy. Bring back Adam Lanza.
Fox News seems to know what happened while the rest of the media is trying to catch up. 9 hours ago, their headline was that Bondi Beach shooting was terrorism designed to target Sydney's Jewish community. No question, period. There it is. Yeah, that's all.
It's a boilerplate, bullet point
copy
comment.
and paste.
Yeah, Megan's got that one as well.
Oh, yeah. I went through last night on Boiler Room. I probably exhausted everybody because I went through, I think it was Megyn Kelly, Liz Wheeler, Matt Walsh, a number of other people who were talking about the Tyler Robinson situation. And they all basically had the exact same bullet points. And the bullet points were, you're awful if you don't believe Erica Kirk is being honest. You're awful if you think that, the FBI owes you information more than they've already given you. And you need to shut up and you need to sit down and quit being a conspiracy theorist. And you're going to ruin the midterm elections if you keep doing this. Like, it's insane the way how closely matching all these posts are from that group of people. I didn't look at like the DC Dranos and the David Harrises and all these people, but I'm guessing they all have the exact same thing going up. So it's very concerning, and that it is so coordinated and concerted.
Yeah, I saw the news says Ahmadovich Nas. I saw the news. The shooter's name was searched online yesterday in Tel Aviv.
Every time now. What the hell?
That would be interesting. We can't confirm that, but that would be interesting. Now, this is interesting. Or maybe they want Australian Jewish population to move to Israel. Israel has used staged terror in Iraq to drive the Jewish population out of Iraq, Mizrahi Jews into Israel. That's documented. They did terror, false flag terror, to encourage Jews to move. This is historic fact. Very famous series of terrorist attacks, well documented. So that was probably, I think, a while back. It's probably in the 50s, 60s, and something like that. But there's plenty of documentation of that one, and that was common. That's how they, that's why many Iraqi Jews left. And many didn't want to leave Iran no matter what, because they're very happy there. And of course, that's a little bit of a sticking point. So that's an interesting angle, because they are hemorrhaging residents in Israel. There's people like queuing up at the embassies in Tel Aviv to try to get a second passport, get to Portugal, Spain, just to get out, basically. It's a nightmare. Nobody wants to be conscripted anyway to go fight in Gaza and die in Gaza. Anyway, that's where it's at, folks. Yeah, the propaganda budget it's deep pockets, absolute deep pockets. Yeah. So there we go, guys. Daily shooters, U.S. troops killed in Syria. Piracy on the high seas. Pirates of the Caribbean. That was the theme of today's show. So I think we're going to leave it there. And yep, it was it's a very interesting week, no doubt. We'll see what happens before Christmas. I dread to think Final thoughts, gentlemen. Hesher, Ruckus.
What a wild ride this week has been. I don't know what else to say. It's just like I'm sitting here just thinking about everything we've talked about today and looking at last night's notes from Boiler Room, and it's just like, wow. Can we enjoy the holiday now? Are these the capstone events of the year? Do we have them all in the can? Can we just chill for the next 2 weeks? I'm afraid probably not. I will be shocked if we get the next 2 weeks without a similar deluge of just chaos. So we're going to be here at Sunday Wire and Boiler Room for that to the end of the year, and you're going to bring us on into the new year and see what kind of cars explode in January of 2026 to kick us off. Hopefully it won't be anything, but just judging by the tea leaves of the news cycle in general, we should remain strapped in with blast shields down, because this roller coaster is not slowing down anytime soon. So thanks for having me. Be sure and check out Boiler Room. It was last night live. We'll get the show page up for it hopefully this evening, but it's out there on Rumble and X, on my X account at Hesher Media, and it's on our YouTube at the Alternate Current Radio YouTube. And we got a lot of great new episodes from our friends and colleagues up at Alternate Current Radio right now. Odd Man Out gets a lot of shout outs. The Mystical American Patriot Society boys get a lot of shout outs right now. There's a lot going on at the website, and of course you'll find your Sunday wires, your midweek wires there as well. And Ruckus has it on screen there, so you can kind of see our newest episodes flicker there. And join us for Boiler Room next Friday and hang out with us. We'd love to see you there. Thanks, Patrick, for having me. What a crazy week.
Indeed. And just on the bottom of the confirmation on what I said before, the bombing of Iraq was 1950s. Jewish historian Avi Shleim documents it in his recent memoirs. Yes, that's correct. There we go. So you got that right. Ruckus, go ahead.
Thanks for having me again. I encourage folks to check out our epic 4-hour-long Boiler Room from last night, because it was epic, and it was indeed 4 hours long, and it was a Boiler Room, and you can find that at alternatecurrentradio.com. I don't know what else to say, because I said a lot during those 4 hours. If you'd like to see some of more of what I do say, you can catch me once a week co-hosting Weaponized News with Sam Cheney. You can find links to that and replays of that available again at alternatecurrentradio.com, or check out Sam Cheney's website, weaponizednews.com. He's got some cool t-shirts. I promise you the listeners of this show will like some of the merchandise he's got. And I will share a new quote that I like involving some of these solutions that they always push forward on us after these events, which is usually technology related. This is a quote from Christian Luz Lange, who said, "Technology is a useful servant, but a dangerous master." And that's where my head's at these days. Patrick, thanks for having me again.
Thank you, Ruckus. Thank you, Hesher. Big up to you guys and everybody. ACR doing great work, and we're keeping on top of the biggest stories here domestically and internationally. We'll continue to do that, but we'll do so with your support. Hopefully, you can check out the winter fundraising drive. The banners are at 21stcenturywire.com. And I want to recognize some people who have come through for us in the last 2 weeks. I want to recognize a couple of names on the winter fundraising drive. Big up to Arthur. Arthur V, thank you very much. Massive big up to Neil R. Took out a lifetime membership. We really appreciate your support. And also Michael S., again, another lifetime member. Amazing. And Philippa H., thank you. Great donation. Same with Karen M., another donation, one-time donation. Paul M., another one-time donation. Senai N., thank you very much. Very generous donation there. Cynthia H., another donation there. And Q8, anonymous donor there. Q8, thank you for your donation. Thank you for your support. guys. You guys are amazing. And again, that banner will take you to our winter fundraising page, slightly updated from this. We'll have to update that screen grab right there, but there's different options that you can support us. Of course, if you subscribe and become a member at 21wired.tv, you'll be helping us. Plus, you'll be helping us build out the next phase of our platform in terms of content. So, and yeah, that's one way you can support us every month. You can take out a monthly around $5, or you can do a yearly or a lifetime membership, as they have done this week. Thank you guys so much for your generosity. We really appreciate it. We will make it go far, as we normally do, and there's a lot more to come at 21st Century Wire this week, and our future episodes of the Midweek Wire, Sunday Wire as well. It's going to be a busy week coming up because everyone wants to jam everything into the week before Christmas. So I will be incredibly busy, but we will have regularly scheduled programming and content daily on our website, and some big stories this week. We'll get great coverage as we normally do. So again, thank you very much for joining us on the Sunday Wire. And thank you to Hesher, to Ruckus, the team at ACR, everybody in the chat rooms, everybody in the comment sections as well. You guys have been unbelievable. Well over 1,000 comments on the aggregate coming through during this live broadcast. So thanks, you guys. It's been absolutely amazing. I'm Patrick Henningsen, your host. We'll see you when we see you, hopefully during the midweek. Take care, everybody. All the best.
Y no podría ser la excepción. El partido, fuerza, fuerza. Fuerza, fuerza. Se vive hoy. Se vive esta manifestación desde el corazón y las entrañas de un pueblo. Por eso hoy queremos recibir a ese líder, a ese caballero. You are the revolution that you've been waiting for. You are the revolution that you've been waiting for. You are the revolution that you've been waiting for. You are the revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution. That you've been waiting for. You are the revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution. That you've been waiting for. You are the revolution. When you're tired of being just a commodity, you are the revolution. And when gaslit into another war, stand strong, because you are the revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution that you've been waiting for. You are the revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution. They conspire against you, accuse you of terrorism, to steal your sovereignty. Hold fast, watch it collapse. Know that we still have the power. You are the revolution. They want to centralize, monopolize, control your thoughts. Breathe, go deep, Go outside, put seeds in the ground. You are not alone. You are not alone. You are the revolution that you've been waiting for. You are the revolution that you've been waiting for. Alone. You are the revolution that you've been waiting for.
You are the revolution.
You are not alone. That you've been waiting for.
Oh, hi. Is this a train to the revolution?
Why, yes, my lady. And you're right on time.